Diane in Denmark here. Good morning. Woohoo! We have made it almost to the end of the week. It's Thursday, which we call Little Friday here in Denmark. And in Flylady land, if you're new to Flylady and maybe just starting out with the daily focus, it's Errand day. Now remember, you can do your errand day any day you like, but you saw me on Tuesday, I was planning my menus. And then today, when I'm out on my bike for errand day, I've got my grocery list and the other things that I've got to do today are I've got a parcel to send, and I can do that actually at the supermarket. There's one of those parcel machines just there. And I think that's it for me today. I don't have anything to get from the ironmonger, the hardware store. I don't have anything to hand into the library. I've got books to go to the library, but I'll do that at the weekend because I'm still finishing one off. But that's it for me for errand day. But just think of anything. Errand day is just anything that you need to do when you're outside of the house. Do you need to go with the kids and buy some new socks and underpants, or do you need to get some light bulbs? Do you need to pick up stuff from the dry cleaners? Maybe you had a nice tablecloth, an heirloom that you were using at Christmas, and maybe you're having it laundered and you need to pick up. So just anything that you're doing outside of the house, put it all together, write it down on a list, so that way you're not kind of going out every day, doing shopping and forwards and backwards, because really it saves a lot of time, energy, it saves petrol, if you're using your car to do it. I'll be on my bike today because I don't have much to get. I'm using up what we have in the pantry. Now, when I say using up what we've got in the pantry, my pantry is basically the kitchen drawers that you can see underneath the bench there. The bench is actually two kitchen cabinets, and we might go in there in a wee minute. What I want to do today, because I'm using up what's in the pantry, what's in the freezer, what's in the fridge, we're trying to save money this month by using just what we've already got. Use what you have. I'm going to do a quick decluttering here. I'm waiting for my washing machine to do its final spin. I don't have a tumble dryer, so I give my clothes a really good spin, and normally what I do is I hang them up, and then the clothes that hung up yesterday, those are now dry and ready to be flip folded or ironed, and then I put them in the kids' rooms and the kids deal with that themselves. So I'm just waiting for the laundry to do its spin, and that's why I thought I would just do a wee quick declutter in here. So anyway, let's get going. And it's early in the morning, and you can see we're just done from breakfast. I've ran the dishwasher, set the table for dinner, and we've got the porridge pot here. Anybody in Scotland, hands up if you've got the porridge pot there, just giving it a wee soak. Oh, and the other thing is the wee strainer from my husband's teapot that he got for Christmas. So what I'm doing with it is, instead of having it kind of lying in the sink the whole time, I have just put in an old Tupperware, plastic box. They're all from IKEA, my ones. And I've just put that there in the tea drawer, and it can just sit there, and that way it doesn't kind of leave a mess around the sink the whole time or be dripping. So that can just go back in there. Right, and as I said, I thought I'd do a quick decluttering here. Just 5 or 10 minutes on the clock. Remember, that's the fantastic thing about doing the Flylady declutter, so you can use KonMari, you can use Flylady, you use whatever you like. I like the Flylady method, that we're constantly looking at what we've got, because it's just a reminder. Well, first of all, it shows us what we're actually using. If we're constantly, going around in the zones, and also it stops us from bringing more stuff in, because we're kind of confronted with what we have. Like, we've got 3 packets of rice. Do you really need to buy more rice the next time you're at the supermarket? So anyway, let me get the timer started and let's get going on that. Okay, and let me just we'll start from one end and work up to the other. Right, we'll just start here. This is the first drawer, and all my things are in drawers. We don't have any overhead cabinets. Here I just keep my things for, all the oven dishes, baking dishes. That's basically that. And I use all of those, so there's nothing to go there. The next one, hold on, we'll just have a wee look, are all the bowls and plates that we use for eating. and again, and also stuff that doesn't go into the oven. Again, there's nothing there that needs to go out. We use all of those, and I think I got these at IKEA last year. We really like those, and we only keep enough for the family. You know, I think we've got like 8 plates, 8 to 10 plates, and that is enough, and enough to have one in the dishwasher or 2 sets in the dishwasher and a few more, and that is basically it. I've also got my my fine china that, I mean, you've seen that next door in the dining room that we use when we have fancy guests, but otherwise this is what we use on a day-to-day basis. And then up here we have cutlery drawer, and I've got inbuilt cutlery things, and I've set it this to be before. You don't need to take out the whole thing, but if you're waiting for the kettle to boil, you know, you can lift out the spoons and give a quick wipe out or hoover. That's all right. We use all the cutlery that's there, and you know, I've got 2 knives, a big knife and a small knife, and that is it for, you know, food prep. I've got a couple of bread knives as well. And I've mentioned this to you before, you know, Mum and Dad's house, you know, Dad, bless him, he would hold on to every single knife, but they didn't, you know, there's not like one decent knife. Anyway, Mum's been decluttering a lot. You don't need 10 knives, you just need 1 or 2 that works. Now, at the back of this drawer, this is what I'm going to declutter today. This is a kind of, you know, where everything ends up, all those little bits and bobs. So what I'll do is I'll just take out, just put them all into a bowl and see what's in here. And this is where I've got, well, I tell you what, shall we take a wee look and see what's in here? There we are. Okay. Let's have a look. Right, okay, so this is the contents of the kind of one of these bits at the back that I just put things that I don't really want to make a decision on immediately. Tell you what, shall we come over to here? Right, there we are. I've even brought over the tulips and the candle from the table. Let's, you know, when you're doing decluttering, make it hygge for yourself, you know, make it an enjoyable thing. You know, I love tulips. I actually got these ones from IKEA, like everything else in this house. But I just love them, and I kind of move them from the living room into when we have our lunch or dinner. So anyway, let's come to decluttering. So here's my wee bowl of what was in those back drawers. Now in here, I've actually labelled it. See there, it says blade. And that's the blades, you can see there, for my scraper. Now I've got one of these scrapers that if I get anything on top of the stove, you know, we've got one of those ceramic top stoves, I can scrape it off with that. So that's that, and I keep them right at the back so that we, you know, sometimes we have wee visitors, you know, our friends, wee kids, so I keep those right out the way at the back. They can't get into the back of that drawer. But actually I might move that somewhere else. I might move it in with the things that I have, you know, where I have my control journal. I might move it down there. So that's the scraper in the, actually I'll just keep it where it was. That's easier for everybody. Okay, and this is bike key, which was for the lock on my son's bike, but actually the lock was taken off and replaced with something else. So I'll just check that that is that one. Sometimes I have trouble remembering from one day to the next what happens. So I'll check that, and that can probably go out. Don't hold on to old keys. You know, I used to, before Flylady, I had keys from apartments in that I used to live in Luxembourg. Yeah. Okay, another sharp item, so that also goes right at the back of the drawer where nobody can kind of get it. A wee Swedish flag. And, okay, I've got an awful lot of these little things, because, you know, whenever I go to a friend's house, I normally take a wee gift, and you know, just like a packet of biscuits or something like that, and I always put a wee bit of ribbon around it and cut, you know, a flower from the garden or a piece of greenery and stick a wee thing on it. So I have quite a lot of these little bits and bobs, so I'll just put those in a pile at the side, and I can see this is one from Christmas, so that can go back down with my ribbons for Christmas stuff. There we go. So that's a put away item. Okay, in here we have, okay, this is a useful thing. This lives in that drawer. It's the paint, the touch-up paint for the cabinets here. We've got a Pog and Pole kitchen. I know a lot of people always ask, is the kitchen from IKEA? It's Pog and Pole, and the drawers here, I can't see them, but the drawers here, they have been, when they spray paint car doors, they've got something like 30 layers of spray paint on them, so they're really, really good. But the only place that's kind of chipped off slightly is here, the one underneath the sink, because we're putting things in there all the time. And I've got this little paint I can just touch up inside occasionally. And I've also got some paint for the windowsills, touch-up paint for that. And the other thing here is for, this is a little screw thing for taking out the end of, hold on, over there, at the sink. If I need to de-chalk this part, this is, and it helps to unscrew it. And I don't want that to get lost, so I keep all these kind of useful things right at the back of the drawer. So that's another keeper. Hold on, that's a check and go away, and that's downstairs. Now this is a bike light, and it's one of these rechargeable ones, but it wouldn't charge for some reason. And I don't think, it was bought last year, and I don't think I still have. I think it was quite cheap. I'm going to give it one last go, see if I can recharge it. It's a USB stick thing that you can recharge it. And if not, that is going out. Here's me calling the kettle black. But when you've got something like this, give yourself like a month and say, am I really going to fix this or get it repaired? And if not, put it into the electric recycling. Let's get rid of it, because all these piles that we have, I've mentioned this before, it's piles of procrastination. We're just not making the decision. We've got to take a decision about these things. Okay, here's some more greenery. So that can stay, plastic greenery. Oh, and another one of the sparkly ones. And this piece of ribbon, I'll keep that because that can be used. Those are kind of okay colours for just now. That black one, that's okay. Oh, and then we've got my Swedish flag, and I've also got Scottish flag. That was one of the leftover ones from the cake that I made for my DS, my dear son, 19th birthday. We had Danish flags and Scottish flags on it because we're a mixed family. Oh, and here's another one, party time. Okay, and this is the remote control for opening our garage door. We've got an electric garage door. We've got one that lives in the car. We only have one car. Most people in Denmark don't have a car. And if you do have a car per family, there's one per family, because everybody uses bikes here for getting to work and school. Okay, here's a weird, this, do you remember I got the tea towel from Vibeke? Oh no, it's here, it's washed, here we are. And she had put a little thing through it so you could hang it up. But I took it off because my ones, they go over the handles of the kitchen drawers here, so I took that off. And you know what, I don't need to keep it, so that can go straight in the bin. There we are, woohoo, go me. And similar with this, all the wine that I buy these days, I don't know if you've noticed that they're all kind of screw tops. And I've got, a fancy one of these proper, pop, in pop it's called in Danish. I've actually got one of those in the dining room, with all our kind of wine stuff and the fancy, entertaining stuff. So I don't need to keep that. So out that we go. This one, can you guess what this is? And don't worry, it's not for, inseminating animals or anything. This is when you get like a single flower from the florist, if it's confirmation time in Denmark when the kids get confirmed, and the tradition is that you turn up at the church and you give them a single rose, the boys and the girls. And the florists use them, hold on, oh, okay. The florists use them, so you fill this with water, and then you put this on the top, and you'll see there's a wee hole on the top, and you can stick in a single flower, and that way it keeps it moist and fresh without the water falling out. So I'm going to hold on to that because, as I said, quite often when I'm going to a friend's house, I take a little thing with a little flower in it, or whatever I can find in the garden. Okay, a fancy straw. We don't use straws in this house. This was one that came as part of a fun parcel thing that can go. And in fact, when my daughter was decluttering the tea and coffee drawer, she had been watching the Marie Kondo series on Netflix, and we noticed we had a lot of straws, and we don't. Well, first of all, we don't drink soda. My husband and my son, they drink soda at the weekend, and then it's out of a glass. They don't use straws. And we only had the plastic straws because we used them for crafting when the kids were small. Now, my kids are now 16 and 19. And we don't use, we don't do the crafting stuff like that anymore. So what I did with the straws, because they're bad for the environment and whatever. And I've put them in the bag for taking to the clothes swap party, because I know a lot of the ladies there, they're doing crafts with their younger kids. So the straws out, because there's no need for us to be keeping straws in the house. Right, other thing is I've got, you can see that there, it's a metal keyring thing. I'm going to put that downstairs with the keys. We've got extra keys for the bikes, so that if we lose one key, we've got the other one, and I've got those all in one place. So I'll do that when I check this bike one, and I'll put that with the lanyard and extra keyring. And then last thing, we've got one of those, I can't even remember what you call them in English. It's been so long since I've used one of those in an office. But that can go out in metal recycling. I'm not holding on to them. And if you're holding on to something like 50,000 paper clips, do you actually use paper clips? Because I don't use paper clips anymore. I mean, I use them maybe like once in 10 years. So, let's get them out. I've also got a safety pin. I've got tons of safety pins already in my little sewing box, the wee one that I got from my granny. So that can also go in metal recycling. And this is a little bit, I know what this is. Sometimes on the bottom of things like a crock pot or any kind of kitchen appliance, you've got those little feet. And I'm not sure where that one came from, but I keep them, if suddenly I think, that's, something's a bit rocky, I keep them in this little box that I showed you the other day. So that can go in there. And after a month or so, if it hasn't kind of turned up, here we are, if it hasn't kind of, dawned on me what the item is, then out they go. A bit of blue tack, and in Denmark, you at the blue tack, that also goes in that box over there. In Denmark, blue tack, they call it pædagogsnot, which means teacher snot. That's the word, that's a very funny word for it. Okay, and I've got two more items, and I can see I've got a little bit of confetti that says 50, but I don't think there's any, and I've got all those kind of things downstairs. I don't need to hold on to this little one. Out that goes. And the last thing is one of the bird's feathers, Tweet and Sparky. And I don't need to keep these anymore, but sometimes I put them in, I don't know, if I've got plants and stuff, I stick a wee feather in it. And this kind of brings back memories, because when my DS19, when he was away in the States, during that year of American high school, Tweet and Sparky, the birds, are lovebirds that you can hear in the background of my videos. My son, those are my son's birds. He looks after them, he does all that. And when he was away, I looked after them. And once a month, when we sent a kind of care package to my son with his favourite Danish sweets and a note for me and my daughter and whatever, I would have gathered up a few of the bird's feathers, and I would put them in a wee plastic bag and send them over and say, here's a message from Tweet and Sparky. I know it sounds silly, but it was just so you could keep that connection with his wee birdie. So anyway, I think I can put that one out. So I've got a few things that I am going to keep, and what I think I'll do is I'll just pop these into a little plastic bag, and those can still be in the drawer, because as I said, I do use them for jazzing up little parcels for people. And I've got a tiny thing, and I've been going on and on today, but we had a wee chat, and I hope I have inspired you to just take one drawer or one shelf and have a wee look through it, and you know, make sure you set your timer, stop when the timer goes off and focus on another area or take a break. So anyway, I need to get running. I'm going to move this away before I go, and don't leave things lying out. Do a pooper, you know, pick up and put away once you've done a session like this. And I'm going to get out on my bike for Errand day. So anyway, that's it for me. So Diane in Denmark saying, live long and prosper. May the hygge be with you, coming your way, with flowers, plants and candles, and I'll see you tomorrow for Friday. Okay, bye for now.